Alright, so I was thinking of doing this and I thought it would be cool because obviously all the Mario Wilds levels are out and I thought it would be good to rank them all. So I've got all 50 levels here and let's rank them. And we're going to start with the F tier. Now there's only three levels that I'd call outright bad. The first of which is the worst level in the game, is Fishing for Bones, also known as 3-4. I just really hate this because it just has really annoying gimmicks and a really annoying pipe section towards the end, so that's why it gets plopped down in F tier. The next one we have is 4-Airship, also known as Lemmy's Golden Galleon. It's really annoying because you need to collect 400 coins to be able to unlock the boss door. But here's the thing, the coins are really hard and tedious to get. It's not difficult, it's just tedious. And also there's a lot of unreachable coins, which is pretty annoying. So yeah, this takes number 49. Then the final one in this bottom tier is 7-1, Planet Karslak, or Planet Shotlax. Now this one is annoying because it has the really annoying gimmick with the blue Yoshi, which originally was a Fire Clown car, but then I changed it to blue Yoshi. So you need to break bricks in a temple. The only thing is, it's really annoying. Really annoying. Thankfully, you don't need to play this level, which is what saves it. But finally, we can move on to a new tier, the D tier. These levels are still not much better. Trust me. So, the next one would probably have to be 2-4, also known as We're Brawl Ready. So basically you're on the side of a mountain and you need to fight Chain Chomps, Pokies, Spikes, and Koopas. Except it's really janky. So you're given either a cape, a fire flower, or Yoshi to defeat them. But again, it's really janky because there's a break midway through, which I should have definitely replaced with a checkpoint, or just not anything at all. And it just ends up being really, really janky, because all the stuff just comes at you at once. And since this is a required level, it can be quite annoying. Now, this next one is probably the worst power-up focused level. And just so you know, all the levels that are above F tier are the ones that I'd consider not bad. So the worst power-up centered level is 7-4, Planet Retronus. So you start by using the SMB2 mushroom to dig through a field infested with buzzy beetles. And it's pretty good, but it's when you do a crouch jump up to the pipe that it all falls apart. You see, it introduces the Super Ball Flower, and this is the one and only section in the game that you get to use it. The only thing is, it's really, really janky, because you need to bounce off icicles on mushrooms, on tiny mushroom platforms, and then you need to defeat fire piranha plants with it. And it just turns out extremely janky. So yeah, if you don't like jank, then this level wouldn't be for you. And also it has a pretty common theme of like mechanics that you won't see again. So yeah, keep that in mind, because we'll come back to that later. Alright, so next up is the second power-up centered level in a row, Airborne Destruction, which also just so happens to be the worst DLC level. So basically, you need to use a P-balloon to get through an obstacle course and a dungeon, but it's janky. Yeah. So you need to avoid skewers, then you need to avoid these spiky blocks, then you need to avoid some more skewers, and then you need to do a swamp tunnel. The swamp tunnel is where it all falls apart because the easiest way to do it is by damage boosting. And if you're not good at the game, then this can be really hard. So yeah, that's why Airborne Destruction is in this tier. Now, the next one might actually come off as a bit of a surprise, but it's for a good reason. That being 1-4, or Yoshi's Forest Frustration. Dang, the fourth level in each world is just always bad. I wonder why. So basically, this introduces Yoshi and Wigglers. So it's pretty simple, using Yoshi to eat Wigglers and solve puzzles. But it's the end again that it all falls apart. So basically, you need to get along these mosquitoes carrying the platforms, but the mosquitoes are really bad at their job, and they keep moving back and forward. So basically, if you want to get over, you need to work with their janky movement, which can be really hard because you also have to carry a flame to the end to light up the flame blocks and get to the end. So yeah, it's not that good. But hey, at least the background details are nice. But that can also apply to all of the other levels. But this one's a highlight. Okay, I think this should probably be the final one in the D tier. And it's another World 7 level. That being Ludwig's Spacecraft Squad. So basically, you need to hit on-off switches to make these clouds appear while going into spacecraft, but you can just avoid the challenge. Yeah, that's a thing that you can do. It kind of sucks. And also, this is the first boss level. Well, other than the one in F tier. Didn't really go into detail for that one because it's not really a boss fight. So in Ludwig's, there's stacks of Buzzy Beetles around him, which actually make the fight easier because you can just use their shells to damage him without having to get hit. It's quite easy. Now we can move on to a new tier. This is going to be quite a packed tier because it's C tier time. So C tier is probably where I think the levels get at least good. And the next one is 3-1 Fishing for Bones. I think it's pretty solid having to run away from a bunch of hungry fish. And it also is the second instance of using mechanics and then never using them again, with this one being the hungry fish and these closing platforms. So basically, if you go in the direction they're facing, they'll close. And also, it has another one-off mechanic where basically an enemy can scroll the screen. That's quite a minor thing, but it's a thing nonetheless. So I'll count it. Oh yeah, it also helps introduce underwater physics and the twister, which is actually quite important. Now, next in C tier, just so happens to be the first level in the game, that being Grassy Grove. The aesthetics are nothing special, and it's pretty easy, but it's really fun, because, it's just nice, simple fun. Introduces Goombas, pipes, and moving platforms. Pretty simple stuff, but also fun stuff. Because remember, easy doesn't always mean bad. It's just there's a way to do easy in a bad way. Alright. So, next C tier level. Probably 6-1. The Magical Underground. Now, this one is all about Magikoopas and ice blocks. It's quite fun, and it also has good uses of the fire flower, but it does require excavation at one part, and that's not fun to do. So yeah, that's why it only goes in C tier. Now the next level, this might be a little bit weird, but I'm putting 4-1 there, aka Yoshi's Rainbow Roar. It introduces Hammer Bros and Yoshi in the sky, but not only does it have really annoying parts, but also it's the first level with a star path. So basically, there are star paths where basically you can go and get a rainbow star at the end, which is one of the game's collectibles. The only problem is, though, this is a really, really hard, and the first one just so happens to be the hardest. So you enter, and you need to get through a really hard section, including these Yoshi platforms, which are another one-off gimmick, and a bunch of swamps and Hammer Bros. When you get to the end, you get your rainbow star. So yeah, not the greatest. Thank goodness it's short. Now, next up is actually the first level from World 5. That being 5-Airship. Now, 5-Airship, it's quite a weird level. So, basically, it starts off with introducing Dry Bones for Smash. Yeah, did you forget I'm an Odyssey Central fan? Okay, no you didn't, good. So, it introduces Dry Bones, and just so you know, these aren't the bone throwing ones, they're just the regular. And then when you go down the pipe, you actually go into the airship, which is something you don't actually do ever again, except for the boss fight where you're in the cockpit. And then you get to use the Dry Bones shell to walk over spikes and go through saw blades on conveyor belts. And you even solve a little puzzle in order to get to the boss, that being Roy. The only problem? This is the worst boss fight in the game. Like, it's just ground pound on him, then bang, you're done. Then wait for him to get up, then wait for Mario to get up, then exit. It's really easy, and that's what ruins the level. Alright, it's been a while since a DLC level. And the next one is Manic Mahogany's -1, When Raccoons Fly. It's just a basic power-up centered level regarding the raccoon suit. And basically, it also introduces Monty Moles, which haven't been introduced yet, except in this one boss fight part and a level we'll get to later. So basically, you just platform over them and you also fly. It's the flying parts that are really annoying because basically you have barely any control because it's on a set path. Oh yeah, it also introduces the Blockupine, which is like a spike block where if you get too close it will unleash its spikes and put on a creepy face, which could probably scare younger audiences. So it's quite creepy. And then there's a guess and check part, which has already been done in several levels that are better. And yeah, that's the end. So it's just pretty weird, and also there's a lot better levels that showcase the features better than it. So that's why it places quite low. Oh no, I've not talked about any of the Bowser stages yet. Yeah, I think this game absolutely nailed the Bowser stages. And the worst one is probably the first one, C6 Seesaw Tower. So basically, you go through a tower at the start, involving spinies and seesaws, as well as rising lava, which is the next one-off gimmick. And then basically what you do is you then platform through a tower, but this time you're given a cape feather to make it easier to deflect all the spinies. So you get to do stuff like platform on seesaws, ride seesaws, and go down a staircase of seesaws. It's just seesaws galore. And then once you're done, you ride a seesaw to get to the top of the flagpole. Yeah, this is pretty good. It's not the best Bowser stage, but it's also not the worst. Then the next one is 1-Airship, also known as Larry's Big Blimp Blast. It introduces the Big Mushroom, which is quite a niche thing. And it's just a simple obstacle course introducing it and Goombrats. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. And also the boss fight's very weak. Probably the second worst fight, right behind Roy. So basically the floor is destructible and it can actually soft lock you. Like if you don't destroy the floor all the way and you beat the boss, you can't exit. And now, the next one is the final Bowser fight, Bowser's Big Battle. Now, this may be controversial, but it's like very, very weird. So basically, it starts with some Koopas and some fake blocks. Then you ride down a hallway with a cape feather while avoiding spike tops and tracks, something that's already been introduced. Then there's a fire Then there's a fire flower memory part, which pays homage to a lot of other memory parts. Then once you've solved it, you go through a pipe to get to the castle dungeon, which introduces boo stretches, another one-off gimmick. You get a power block, go through the gate, and then you're at Bowser. This is probably one of the best bosses in the game, because you need to hit him with bombs. It's actually probably the hardest boss in the game, which is nice. So yeah, overall pretty good, but just things that have been showcased much better earlier and later in the game. Now, I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to just wrap up this tier with 6- Airship, Morton's Flaming Flyer. So it involves fire piranha plants and vines, which is the final one-off gimmick we'll see in this video. So basically, you just platform around fire piranha plants and use their fire to your advantage. You can even fight them with your own fire, which is pretty cool. And then the boss is actually pretty good. It uses pipes in the arena, which is something a lot of Morton fights should use. But it also uses fire piranha plants on the ceiling, which is quite unique. So overall, this is probably the best in this tier. And that's rounding out not only the C tier and this video. The next levels will be showcased in the next video. Anyways, see you in the next one. Bye.